Hello, Dr. Gillespie. This is Michael Lynch, and this is the Week 7 project, which is an interview with the news media. I had a pretty elaborate setup, but my reporter got called away to work. So since I went over the questions ahead of time, I know what I was going to be asked. So I will ask the questions to myself, and then I will answer them. If you're wondering about this, I used to be a TV cameraman decades ago. So I'll begin. Critics of the fire department have made several claims of insufficient staffing and substandard minimum training. The first claim is that the department is not adhering to the National Fire Protection Association's 1710 standard of a minimum of 4 firefighters on the first due engine. So I would start with addressing that is that the NFPA recommendations are basically just guidelines. Unless they're incorporated into law, such as NFPA 1403 for live fire training, it's just a guideline. We try to always be at least to those standards or higher, for all kinds of reasons. But a lot of people put a lot of time into developing these standards. They're a consensus standard, and they're proven to be effective. However, we cannot afford to put 4 firefighters on every engine. What we have done, though, is we've been increasing our staffing to 3, and that's probably the most you'll ever see. So right now, about half of our engines have 3 men on it. We are still NFPA 10 compliant as far as how many people we send to a fire. Right now, we are sending 4 engines, 2 rescue companies, a ladder truck, and 2 battalion chiefs. So depending on the staffing engine, that's anywhere between 17 and 23 people. So that does fit within the guidelines of NFPA 1710. Additionally, we're an ISO 2 department. And the way we maintain that is that the engine goes with 2 people on it, but the paramedics on the ambulance are dual certified as firefighters. So they might come on a separate vehicle, but they make up the other 2 of the engine crew. So my next question is, in the wake of the train derailment and hazardous material spill, it came to light that the fire department did not comply with training requirements for the hazardous material response, which are mandated by law, and fire department personnel entered the hot zone without hazardous waste operations and emergency response training. As you know, we just started developing a hazardous material team, and it's not completely operational yet. We were dispatched to a transportation accident, which was a overturned chemical tanker. The units arrived on scene. Everybody that arrived on scene is trained to the operational level, which is a minimum of 8 hours. It's part of Fire Academy. So they were able to identify the material and isolate the material from entering a nursing home at the bottom of the hill. So while they're not trained to mitigate and stop the leak, they were able to dike it and save 120 nursing home residents from having to be evacuated, many of them bedridden. They did wear full firefighter PPE and respiratory protection with their self-contained breathing apparatus, which is a minimum according to the ERG guidebook. And they did wear full firefighter ensemble, which is not recommended for cleanup. They never made direct contact with the material. They used shovels to divert it away from the nursing home. As far as the ecological disaster with the Fishkill, I will have to say that it was more important to save 120 senior citizens from death or injury and being displaced for an unknown amount of time than worry about the runoff at that time. That was the decision that was made. And I will argue that with the way the area floods and the runoff down the hill from the rain, the water was going to get contaminated anyway. We've notified the state warning point, and they have contacted the responsible party for the chemicals. They are now required to do the cleanup and try to restore the ecology to the best that they can. And then lastly, do you feel elected officials and the public are appraised of what is going on in the fire department? Yes. We submit a detailed budget to the county commissioners every year. We're always trying to request a little more funding for our hazmat team, for hazmat training, for additional staffing on our engines. So they're well aware of what's going on inside the fire department. We've been trying to apply for grants and whatnot. We do, contact them and tell them how that's going as far as funding goes. As far as the public, whenever we open a new station or a new piece of equipment, whatever, we put it out on social media. The budget and everything about the fire department is available on the internet. So there is nothing being withheld from the public. The public is more than welcome to pop into the administrative office or any station and check out the equipment we have and ask any questions they want about how we operate as a fire department. Again, that's all I have. This is Michael Lynch from the Sarasota County Fire Department, and any other questions can be directed to my office.